It's hard to think of a time much darker than this for Gohan in this series, but if you have a more savage moment in mind in Dragon Ball, feel free to remind me. In our latest video on Dragon Ball Rage, a new fan manga created by Jarius Smith, whose link will be down below in the description, Gohan was the subject of something so horrible, I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy, so if you haven't caught up on the series, definitely be sure to go do so and come back to this video. But before we go any further, we gotta give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's video, so thank you so much to Raid Shadow Legends. Now, I'm sure you guys know by now that Raid Shadow Legends has taken over and gaming has gone god tier ever since. Bringing together a next level true console experience to mobile devices isn't easy, but Raid has set the bar so high that there's no going back. Now, this might seem a little drastic, but you can literally explore millions of champion combinations and master numerous techniques and tactics as you take on dungeons, raids, campaigns, and of course, my favorite of all, the PvP arena. There's hundreds of artifacts that you can equip and over 600 champions to choose from, all with unique skill sets, so build your team, develop your champion squad, and raid in your own way. Two of my personal favorite champions have to be Sathalia, who is a PvP monster who heals, guys. Now, Sathalia is more of a support slash all-around champion who can heal herself as well as teammates with A2 and debuff enemies with A3, so she's great for every single mode in the game. Scylla the Drakes, though. Now, she is that one. This is the most popular legendary champion in Raid, and for good reason. I mean, she is strong. Like, her second skill is a powerful wave stun, and her default skill drains target's turn meter and debuffs speed, so she can find her place in any aspect of the game. Plus, her passive gives her 10% healing every time she starts her turn, as well as a revive. But the greatest thing about this champion, and are you guys ready for this, is that she's free. So when you click that link in the description or use the QR code to download, don't forget who told you about Scylla. Among all the new updates and champions, currently the Deliana Chase event is giving out the new legendary champion Deliana Chase from the High Elves faction just by logging in. All you have to do is log in for 7 days between now and July 20th and you get Deliana for free, guys. She's one of the strongest supports to ever come to the game, so I promise you do not want to miss her. Raid isn't stopping here, however, and it doesn't look like they're shy about it either, because if you hit the link in the description and download Raid today, you'll get the free champions Misericord, Tiger Soul, and Romero, along with 10 Magic XP Brew, 10 Force XP Brew, and 10 Spirit XP Brew. But I'm still not done, because listen up, all new players. You can enter the promo code MyDeliana, which I'll have up at the screen right now, to get your hands on everything. Yeah, 50 XP brews to max out your Deliana to level 50 and a whole lot of silver. So download today, hop in, and let's raid. Thanks to Beerus having seen the earlier days of Gohan's spurts of overwhelming potential, he's made up his mind that he needs to see more. After witnessing the fight between Gohan and Cell many years ago, something piques the guy's interest even more when Gohan loses control this time. This would cause Beerus to have Whis seek out Cell, who's in HFIL, and devise a plan with him. Sparing no feelings, Beerus explains to him that after witnessing his fight, he saw how Cell was able to awaken that fierce strength within Gohan, and he wants to see more. Whis had already tried to explain to him that Gohan's inner strength comes from loss and not battle or the thrill of the challenge. However, this would do little to deter him. Instead, Beerus would use Cell as his own personal hitman in order to awaken Gohan, even going as far as to share his own power with Cell and then marking his first victim, Videl. With such interest in Gohan's abilities, it seems cruel for Beerus to take this approach to some, and Whis seems to agree as he arrives on Earth with Cell. He goes on to bid a rather sudden farewell to Cell, telling him that he's brought him here, but he refuses to help him find Videl's location, so he leaves the rest to him. Whis returns to the God Realm as we make our way back over to Gohan's house, who's just been dropped off by Krillin. Gohan and Krillin end up engaging in a race after Gohan shows Krillin his unlocked potential. When he powers up though, this alerts Cell to their whereabouts, and with Gohan gone, he has no issues taking Videl and Pan. When Gohan gets back and notices them gone, he follows the trail of screams to a nearby field as he suddenly comes face to face with his old enemy Cell again. In an instant, right before Gohan's eyes, he snaps Videl's neck, leaving Gohan speechless as his wife is brutalized with nothing he could do about it as Cell taunts him. Then, he takes it even a step further as Cell obliterates Pan, who was just a baby, sending Gohan into a spiral I could never imagine, with everything being taken from him in the blink of an eye. This is the first time we would go on to see Piccolo in the series outside of the opening panel with him eating with Goku as he meditates in the mountains somewhere alone in solitude. All of a sudden, what? He thinks to himself. Why am I sensing Cell's energy? Gohan killed him years ago. It's impossible that he'd be back. Well, it has been peaceful these past months that maybe my mind is playing tricks on me. But then, he senses the tragedy as his eyes rip open with him saying that maybe his mind wasn't playing tricks on him after all. I'm coming, you two, he says as he flies off hurrying in their direction. Elsewhere, Tien and Chaozu seem to feel the same thing as they tremble in fear as well. Chaozu, you stay here. I'll go see what's going on, Tien says as he takes off too. Off in a restaurant in town, Yamcha is enjoying a bowl of ramen at his favorite spot, commenting on how amazing the food is. But this is when the disturbance reaches him as well. Is everything alright, sir? The waitress asks as she walks by, noticing Yamcha bothered. Yeah, everything's fine, he replies. Okay, well, here's the check, she says as she passes him the receipt. He gives her 50, telling her to just keep the change as he flies off, as everyone seems to be rendezvousing after feeling Cell's energy. Next, we go to Krillin's house as we see him tucking in Marin. He goes to check the fridge to grab something out, and this is when 18 comes into the kitchen asking him when he's coming to bed. Soon, 18, he replies, right after I... But he drops his cup as he begins to tremble in shock, with 18 asking what's wrong. It's Cell, Krillin stutters. I don't know how, but I'm sensing his energy. Krillin, that's impossible, 18 consoles him. You told me Gohan destroyed him. Yeah, he did. I know he did, Krillin comments. But I know Cell's energy when I feel it. It is him. I know the other guys probably sensed it by now too. 18, you stay here with Marin, he tells her. I'll go check it out and hope that I'm wrong. I hope you're wrong too. You be careful, she says. I will, he tells her, as the Z Fighters mobilize at the source of this strange energy. Well, my lord, Whis says as he looks into his staff back in the God Realm. Are you satisfied with your plan thus far? I only instructed him to kill the wife, not the child as well, Beerus says. Whis tells him that he should have known this character Cell, however, would have a personal vendetta against the Saiyans. Especially Gohan in particular, he goes on, since he's the one who destroyed him. Goku nor Gohan will take this lightly should they find out about this, he says. The Saiyans still don't even know that I'm the one who gave the go for the destruction of planet Vegeta, he mentions, and they won't find out about this either. I hope you're right, Whis comments. Whis, I thought you said that this boy grew strength from loss of life, Beerus asks. Cell just killed his wife and child, yet he's done nothing while Cell laughs at him. His mind is processing what just occurred, Whis explains to him. I'm sure Cell is soon to attack while he's processing, Beerus says, taking a closer look into the staff. Do something before he... Oh. Whis, look, he says suddenly, with Whis commenting on how he sees it too. Back at the battlefield, a storm is brewing as the evil act that just took place sets in. So tell me, Gohan, Cell begins. How does it feel to once again be helpless in saving those you care for? First your father and now your own family. How truly pathetic, he exclaims. Gohan would continue sobbing, apologizing over and over again to his wife and daughter, saying how he's failed them. At that moment, Krillin, Piccolo, and the others finally arrive as they look on absolutely astounded at the sight of Cell, even though he should be obliterated. Oh look, Cell speaks up. The old gang is back. Seems the only two missing are Goku and Vegeta, but something tells me that won't be for long. No, Piccolo yells as he flies over to Gohan, who's still holding on to Videl. Was I too late? Gohan, is she? And what about Pan? She's dead too, Cell chimes in as a deep, sickening feeling overcomes the Z-Fighters after hearing this news, with Piccolo roaring about how he could kill a helpless baby. I'll admit that might have been a bit much, Cell says, but it was the perfect way to get back at Gohan for destroying me, and I must say, it felt really good. This is when Gohan's power begins to erupt as a shockwave levels the battlefield, but a rage like this and where it takes him is still yet to be seen. Back at Goku's house, Goku sits up in an instant, sensing something is changing with Gohan. I better go check it out, he mentions before teleporting away. Vegeta is on his way as well in the meantime already, headed that way, asking just why is Gohan's power rising like this? It's vigorously fast, he goes on. It must have something to do with what I felt earlier. Something is definitely going down. When Goku shows up at the battlefield, the first thing he sees is Gohan, but then his attention turns to Videl as he sees her lifeless in his arms. Everything begins to make perfect sense though, as Cell greets him finally, saying how nice of you to finally join us, Goku. Impossible, Goku utters. How is it that you're back, Cell? And where is my granddaughter Pan, he roars. This is when Piccolo tries to muster up the words to tell Goku what happened to Pan, but this still all just seems like a sick joke to Cell. I think the word you're all looking for, he says as Gohan remains speechless, is dead. Goku roars Cell's name as his mocking has gone too far now. He transforms into Super Saiyan 2 and tells Cell, I don't know how you came back, and right now, I don't care. What I do know is that you're gonna pay for the life you took from Videl, and most certainly from my granddaughter. Cell just continues snickering as Piccolo tells Gohan that he'll take Videl back to the group and away from the battlefield. He knows that this one is personal. I'm sorry, Gohan, he says as he flies off. Gohan, I think you should, Goku begins, but Gohan has waited long enough as his rage overflows and he transforms again, charging at Cell at full speed, declaring he'll pay for this. Cell, however, blocks his full power attack with a single hand. What? Goku exclaims. He stopped Gohan's attack with one hand? I see you gained some phenomenal strength since I've been away, Gohan, Cell says as he closes his eyes, applauding him. However, he goes on, I've acquired some new power as well, and when he opens his eyes, they resonate a violet, purple, and black, demonstrating the power he gained from the God of Destruction for the very first time. He connects a thunderous kick to the side of Gohan's face and sends him flying across the battlefield with ease over Goku's head. Goku retreats to check on him as Cell boasts about his new power, truly basking in his God Ki. Gohan, son, are you alright? Goku asks as he lands at his side. Cell, I'll make him pay for what he did to our family, Gohan. How's that son of yours doing, Goku? Cell asks as Goku descends in front of him. He seems to be taking a little nap. Goku begins powering up even more, seeming like it's about time to transform again, with Cell telling him, I know you've reached new heights, Goku, so show me your newfound power. Goku ascends through the ranks, powering up just as Cell asked for, and goes into Super Saiyan Blue. Ah, quite impressive, Goku, Cell says, but he honestly sounds relatively unimpressed. Well, now it's my turn. All of a sudden, Cell transforms into something that could only be described as damn near a Hakaishin form, with his body taking on a purple hue, declaring this is what true power is, almost blowing the spectators away with his energy. As Hakaishin, Cell, and Goku stand across from each other, one can't help but notice the menacing aura coming from Cell, and this power should ring familiar as well in due time. There's only one person I know, at least in this universe, who has that kind of power, Goku says. Cell cuts him off, however, thirsting for a fight, saying, enough talk, Goku. Now is the time for our rematch to commence. Back in the God Realm, as we check in on Beerus and Whis, Beerus is kicked back but starting to look a little bit displeased at the series of events taking place on Earth. This is not what I wanted to happen, he says. What exactly did you think would happen, my lord? Whis asks. That Goku would stand by and do nothing? I was hoping that his son would have retaliated and tap into that so-called power you spoke of, he replies, sounding just as disappointed as us. But the opposite happened and Cell took him out with a single blow. Yes, that's true, Whis chimes in. Well, it's not over yet, so perhaps things might change as the fight goes on, but remember that this was your idea and you assumed things would go according to plan without a hitch, yet poor baby Pan was killed. Yes, that's quite unfortunate, Beerus says. And it's kinda hard to read whether he actually feels bad about this or not, but it's probably safer to go with no. This was my plan, he goes on, so I'll tell you what. Should things get out of hand, I'll intervene myself. As you wish, Whis replies. Speaking of things getting out of hand, it looks like Goku is having some trouble with Cell, Beerus comments. It's as if Cell is learning to control what little portion of power I gave him and somehow he's multiplied it. Well, the Cell character was created from the genes of Goku and Vegeta, and when those two reach a new level, they do everything they can to master it as soon as possible, Whis explains to him. That would explain Cell's ability to control the power you gave him. I see. The clashes all over the battlefield are happening at untraceable speeds as Goku and Cell have the rematch of a lifetime. Cell, however, is showing the upper hand as he sends Goku sliding backwards with a kick. Damn it, Goku roars. This isn't good. His power is too strong, and to make matters worse, I wasn't even at 100% coming into this fight. What's the matter, Goku? Cell asks as he approaches him again. I hope you don't plan on quitting like you did last time because this isn't a tournament. Are you guys seeing this? Krillin asks as he and the others spectate from afar. Goku is having trouble with Cell and it's like Cell hasn't even broken a sweat. But the opposite happened, says Yamcha. Cell took him out in one blow. But what about that new form Goku achieved during the Tournament of Power, Tien asks? Why doesn't he just transform into that? If the gods applauded him for achieving something that they couldn't, Goku should be able to take Cell out. Piccolo agrees, but he mentions that the only problem with that is that Goku hasn't mastered it yet, so he can't transform into Ultra Instinct. You seem to be running out of gas, Goku, Cell says as he lands another punch. Goku catches himself, but without mastered Ultra Instinct, this honestly looks bleak. I don't have much energy left, so I have to put everything into this next attack, he thinks to himself. He takes it up another notch, turning into Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken next. Ah, so you do have some juice left, Cell replies. Let's see what you do with it. Kaioken Blue Goku charges at Cell once more, but this time, however, it seems he's able to land some solid attacks with his speed taking precedent. He punches Cell in the face, sending him flying, and then flies behind him and kicks him in the back. When Cell recovers, however, he's no more than enjoying the engagements. Goku prepares a Kamehameha, making his way towards Cell, as Cell tells him to give it his best shot. All of a sudden, Goku appears behind Cell using his instant transmission Kamehameha again, taking Cell off guard and blasts him at point-blank range. A huge explosion occurs from the blast, as it seems Goku has landed a direct hit. You think that did it? Yamcha asks as he and the others look on for the final result. But by the look on Piccolo's face, I think we know. Goku curses himself as the smoke clears, revealing none other than Cell again, who's projected a barrier around himself, asking did Goku really think he'd fall for that little trick again? Shame on you. Goku begins, but his energy all of a sudden is depleted so far that he falls back to base form and collapses to his knees. Well, Goku, you put up a good fight as you did last time, Cell mocks, but once again, you lose. And now, it's time to put you down for good, Cell goes on as he outstretches his hand and takes aim at Goku. This is when a Big Bang attack enters the battlefield, nearly making a direct hit on Cell, but he's able to dodge it in time. All of a sudden, Vegeta appears in front of Goku, delivering some much needed backup right on time and saving him. You'd think after the Tournament of Power you'd be able to handle this, Vegeta says, and Goku agrees that yeah, he kinda screwed this one up. Well, Vegeta begins as he lays eyes on Cell again for the first time since the Cell games. Kakarot may not have defeated a god, he says as he powers up to Super Saiyan Blue as well, but I have. Cell and Vegeta stand across from one another before their own rematch begins, as Hakaishin Cell mentions he was wondering when Vegeta would finally show up. How have you come back, Cell, he demands. Last time we saw you, Gohan blasted you into oblivion. Furthermore, he goes on angrily, how did you attain those newfound powers of yours? There's only one person in this universe with such power. I was thinking the same thing, Vegeta, Goku says, agreeing. Cell remains silent though, still refusing to answer the question, but Vegeta doesn't press, saying that this reunion of theirs will be short-lived anyway. That's a bold statement coming from you, Vegeta, Cell replies. However, I am intrigued to see how far you've come since I've been away. I appreciate the save, Vegeta, Goku speaks up, but you and I both know that you aren't at 100%. I'm well aware of that, Kakarot, he replies. Well, Vegeta, are we ready to begin, Cell asks. Kakarot is right. I don't have any energy to waste, so I gotta give it everything I've got right now. Go to the others, I'll handle this, he tells Goku. Goku flies back to the rest of the spectators, leaving Vegeta for the time being to finish Cell. If Goku couldn't defeat me, what hope do you have, Cell asks, but Vegeta just smirks. In an instant, Vegeta goes on to power up even more as his aura grows violently, turning to a royal shade of blue. It seems you're not as weak as you once were, Vegeta, Cell states. That's quite a power boost. Vegeta tells him he doesn't need any verification from him, and the battle between these two godlike forms begins. Hakaishin Cell and Blue Evolution Vegeta clash in the skies, but Vegeta seems to have the upper hand at the moment as he lands a knee to the gut, completely stunning Cell, and then a punch across the face. He sends Cell flying, who really seems to have felt that last one as Vegeta mocks him for not being able to keep up. Not bad, Vegeta, Cell replies. You're actually putting up a much better fight than Goku did. Vegeta charges at him again, but this time, it's clear to Cell that he's already begun to slow down quite a bit, as Vegeta realizes that he has to finish this now, as his power is rapidly draining. With another thunderous kick, he sends Cell soaring into the air, and this is when he gets into a very familiar pose and begins charging obscene amounts of power. Vegeta fires a final flash at Cell, who braces himself for the impact as the beam tears across the battlefield. Cell creates another barrier reinforced with the energy of destruction as Vegeta's attack makes contact. The two struggle to overwhelm the other, but eventually, Vegeta seems to be gaining the upper hand. All of a sudden, an explosion occurs in the sky as Vegeta lowers his hands, drained of energy now. The spectators look on, wondering if Vegeta's attack was enough as well, but as we go on to see, only Cell's shield was damaged as he remains inside the cracked shell to everyone's shock. With all of his energy depleted now, Vegeta also falls back to base form as Goku comments that this isn't good at all. His energy is gone as well. Well, Vegeta, Cell says, smirking and only getting stronger. That was quite dramatic, don't you think? For a second, I myself was worried. Goku flies over to Vegeta to check on him, asking if he's alright, but Vegeta only harbors disappointment for not being able to beat this guy for a second time. Both Goku and Vegeta have failed. So I wonder how I should dispose of you two, Cell goes on. Any chance you'd be willing to do fusion? Goku asks, to which Vegeta denies, funnily enough, but their options are extremely limited right now. At this point, even Yamcha and the others are considering stepping in to help Goku and Vegeta after noticing their energy is completely sapped, but they quickly realize that their own powers would have little to no effect on this new version of Cell. Well, we can't just stand here and watch them die, Piccolo comments. Off in a crater nearby though, Gohan lay unconscious, having lost everything precious to him in a blink of an eye. All of a sudden though, he would envision Videl saying, Gohan, wake up, and his eyes would rip open with more rage than ever seen before. When we return to the God Realm this time, I can only imagine what Beerus is feeling after unleashing this terror on Earth, but per his role, do you guys think it matters all that much? Would you look at that, Beerus says. Both Goku and Vegeta failed to bring down Cell. Indeed though, Whis admits. It looked as if Vegeta was on the verge of breaking through and finishing the job. That was the case until his tank ran out of gas, Beerus states though. That was unfortunate, but I must admit, I'm glad it did happen like that, cause at least it gives Goku's son time to get back into the fight and I'll finally get to see what I want. Speaking of Gohan, Whis chimes in. It seems he's finally gained consciousness and is beginning to move. It's about time, Beerus exclaims. Come on, Whis, let's go to Earth. I want a front row seat to see this power you spoke so highly of. As you wish, Whis replies, and then they make their way back to the battlefield themselves. Look at you two, Cell says, mocking the weakened Goku and Vegeta. Two of Earth's greatest fighters, helpless to defend their planet. We gotta think of something and fast, Vegeta, Goku exclaims, with Vegeta getting angry that things have gotten this bad this quickly. But this is when a surprising party steps in. That's it, Piccolo declares. I don't care if I die. I already failed to protect Videl and Pan. I won't just stand here and watch Goku and Vegeta be killed too. He makes his way to the center of the action and lands behind Goku and Vegeta. I'm glad you decided to join us, Piccolo, Cell says as he steps up. This makes things a little more interesting. I don't think it's a good idea for you to be here, Piccolo, Goku tells him. Cell is too powerful for us in our current state. Piccolo, however, tells him that if they die, he'll destroy the planet, so what does he have to lose anyway? I guess you're right, Goku replies. I don't know about you two, Vegeta chimes in, but I have no intention of dying today, he roars as both he and Goku power up as much as they can, transforming into Super Saiyan 2s, and Piccolo readies himself as well. Krillin and the others also have their doubts about joining the fray after seeing how strong Cell has become, but Tien tells them that they may not be able to do much, but if they fail, they're all dead anyway, and this is enough to get the Earthlings fired up as they head towards Cell also. Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo are busy doing their best attacking Cell 3-on-1, but they're making little progress in wearing down such a powerful opponent with the power of a god of destruction now. Is that the best you have to offer, Cell says as he disengages from them and then charges a blast. Goku, Piccolo, and Vegeta all create space between themselves and Cell and simultaneously take aim and fire off all of their signature moves together. As their attacks home in, Cell holds his ground and obliterates the best of their abilities as Goku, Vegeta, and Piccolo stand shocked with little to respond with. All of a sudden, as Cell laughs at their pitiful power, the three Earthlings appear behind him and simultaneously attack as well, firing off their beams. What? Cell says as he turns around, noticing their attacks right on time and easily deflecting them away. I see everyone wants to get involved now, he says joyously, cherishing the opportunity to clean up all of this for good. As everyone eyes Cell, pondering what they should do next, Cell would let out a thunderous, "No matter, I'll just dispose of all of you at once," letting off a powerful shockwave, knocking Goku, Yamcha, and the others away, boasting his superior power. With everyone on the battlefield laid out and Cell standing tall, it looks like this may be the end. Now, where were we before we were rudely interrupted, Cell says as he ascends into the air. Ah yes, I was thinking of how I would get rid of the two of you. I thought about taking my time, but I think I'll just destroy the planet now. He creates a humongous orb of destruction over his head, looking to erase the entire Earth, but this is when someone else approaches him now. Gohan, Goku says as he struggles to sit up. Oh, look who decided to wake up from his little nap, Cell chimes in. But Gohan can only see red now as Cell has done the one thing he could never forgive. You. All I ever wanted was to live a normal life, he stutters through gritted teeth. But ever since I was a child, something or someone was taken from me. At this moment, Gohan's power begins reaching alarming levels as the transformation is readily upon us. And now, somehow you've come back and taken my family from me, he roars as he begins to black out, crippled by his own overwhelming strength as he remembers his family. Videl, Pan. Why would this happen? How could it? Gohan's body begins to transform as his muscles swell and his eyes go blank momentarily. But somehow, he manages control. His shirt begins to rip under the strain of his transformation, and as he remembers the brutal fate of his family he was just forced to witness, the slaying of his wife, the senseless murder of his baby daughter, Gohan would change into something dangerous. Cell seems pleased that Gohan is finally showing what he's come here for, but in a thunderous explosion caused by the young man, Gohan's transformation would complete. With hair glistening a blistering silverish hue, Gohan would open his eyes and reveal a rage and a power we've never seen from him before. Ultra Gohan would be born versus Hakaishin Cell as this chapter of Dragon Ball Rage comes to an end.